Hello, I'm Diane. Welcome to my channel, Diane in Stitches, and this channel is all about sewing, so I do hope that's something that interests you. If so, don't forget to leave a like and a comment if there's anything you want to comment about, and also please consider subscribing if you haven't already. It does all help the channel to reach other people looking for similar content. So with that said, I'll get on to today's topics. What I'm wearing today is the Ellie and Mac cuddle tunic. I'll probably have to put a picture in if I can get one, because you'll not see the whole thing. It's quite a long garment. There is a dress length, but this is the tunic length, so it's just got this big through pocket here, seam here, and then this nice cowl neck and a contrast band at the bottom, but it does it comes halfway down my thighs. I could do with it being a bit shorter, I think, but it does keep the lower half warm anyway. Well, as warm as French terry can do. I don't find it too warm really, but there you go. Sometimes I put a t-shirt under it for an extra layer, but anyway, so that's what I'm wearing today. So this week I managed to finish from last week's, I'd started the All-In Easy shirt by Pattern Emporium. I didn't quite like the length of it. It was the very, very curved shirt tail hem, and I wasn't so keen on it, and I thought I'll probably going to shorten that. And I did hem it, but it had gone all wavy, and it didn't look nice. So I thought I'm just going to shorten it. So I took a little bit off. Well, I'll put a picture of what I did. So I cut the bottom off, and then I decided that I would do that front corner a little bit better than it was originally, where you just folded it up and then you've got this gap at the side. So I did unpick the placket facing in the end, so that I could turn it up first and then put the placket over. And in doing that, I thought, well, how shall I do the hem now? So I decided to just dive in and do the Banrol hem. So I got a long piece of Banrol ready and did that. I did a little bit of a video. I know there are videos out there about the Banrol technique, but I thought I'll do a little bit on as I do it, just because it's the first time I've done it, apart from a couple of little practices. So I'll pop that at the end. So if you want to avoid that, then that's fine. If you already know all about the Banrol technique, so that'll be it. I'll pop that in at the end. But the All-In shirt, basically. So I'll put the picture up or a video of the before and the after that I've now got, as I've altered it, shortened it. Managed to get some buttons from boys. It was a little bit strange with them. The cream side that I have ended up putting facing out was the one that was on the top of the tube that the buttons come in. But when I turned it over, there was a lovely sort of mother of pearl effect on the back. It was very strange. I thought, well, should it have been that way? The button was a little bit loose on the top of the tube, but anyway, the cream fits, so that's what I've done. So the All-In shirt, Pattern Emporium, I'll just go through the details of it. The sizes, quite a good range of sizes. It starts, you go by your upper bust, but I'll go with the full bust measurements. It goes from a size 4. Now these are Australian sizes, but I think they're equivalent to UK sizes. So a size 4, which is a full bust starts at 27.5 inches, and it goes up to a size 30, which is a full bust of 54 3/4. So it's quite a good size range. Now the All-In shirt is one of the few patterns I found that Pattern Emporium have actually given a finished size for. Sometimes when it says finished sizes, they only do length or bicep width, or circumference, or whatever, but they don't seem to always do the the bust or the actual circumference of the garment, but this one is runs from size 4, 35 1/8 inch, to a size 30, which is 61 3/8 inch. Now, based on my measurements, I fall into the 10, and the finished circumference of that is 41 1/8 inches, and it's also got the circumference at the hip as well, which is 46. So that's the size. So I did do the size 10, which is sort of what I usually fall in with the Pattern Emporium. I'll get it's hanging here, just show you it in the flesh, as it were. So this collar is the one without the stand. I haven't put buttons all the way up to the top. It's sort of what I suppose what they call a camp collar. But the only problem with this is you've got this, it doesn't go, it's not a full facing, so it doesn't go all the way around. It's just basically a folded back. So those are that's the button, if you can see it. I don't know if I can get some light on it. It's going to be bright in a minute because the sun's really bright today. So yeah, so I've got the back. I did the inverted pleat, and at the cuffs I just did the elastic cuffs just for a change, and then the hem's not as pronounced a curve, but got the nice, let's put that down, the nice narrow Banrol hem, and then I've turned the facing the placket in so that you haven't got this. The other way was turning it that way, and you ended up with this crease at this side, but it's there. But I have actually top stitched that as well down, a little bit of thread there, so that looks better than it did before. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. So last week I did the video on the yoke, because it should only be a single layer yoke, and I did it double and did the burrito method to put the double yoke in. Now it is quite a thin fabric, this. I've tried it on. I had a blue bra on, and it actually really showed through, and I thought, am I going to need to wear a camisole or something underneath this? But you'll see from the video I took this morning, I put one of my flesh tone bras on, and it does seem a lot better. I had a bit of a disaster. Well, not a disaster, but I managed to sort it. I don't usually use the buttonhole template that is provided in patterns that you lay on to mark your buttonholes, and I thought, well, I'll just see how they're going to go. And I'd cut a slit in it, and but I didn't get it properly centered, and I made a mark with my Prim chalk pencil through, and it was totally in the wrong place. It was off center, and I thought, oh, so I tried to rub it out, and it wouldn't come out, and I tried to sponge it off, and it wouldn't come out, and I thought, I'm just gonna. So there was all these yellow marks down the front. Anyway, I just decided, I thought I'll just have to wash it. So I just took it to the sink, and I got some fairy liquid and just squeezed it a little bit, and so I basically had to just, and luckily it came out, and so I did the buttonholes properly. I sew the buttons on. I usually sew the buttons on the machine if the buttons will go through. They were quite a little bit. They're a little bit of a thickish button, but it did fit in the button attaching foot. So I just think that looks nice. It's sort of quite neat on the front and the back. So I got that done, and so yes, I'm quite pleased with that. So I don't know whether you could class it as a shirt or a blouse. It's quite a blousy fabric, and obviously I haven't got the proper cuff on the bottom, so it's quite quite a floaty, blousey type garment, I think. So that's the all-in easy shirt by Pattern Emporium. I did make a start on the Waves and Wild Saltaire cardigan, similar design, the ladies' version of the one I made Keith. I've got so far with it. It's coming. I've just got the bands to do now. It's black, so it's going to be difficult to show up, I think. But it's just going to be it comes sort of a V-neck, and then you start the buttons. And I've got some buttons. I've got the buttons. I put the pocket on. So that shouldn't be too long to finish off. And I got some buttons with when I got these for the shirt, and I got 6. It says between 5 and 8 for the short cardigan, and I got 6, but one of them is different. There was a slightly similar one in a different tube, and I think someone must have taken one out of one and put it in that, and I've got an odd one. I think I might only need 5 anyway. So anyway, that'll be for I think I've probably got that finished the next couple of days for next week's video. And so more plans are cozy makes still. I just need to get some coat. I know I need to start the coat. I don't know what I'm doing about the coat. I'm going to make some film as I go along with the coat, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that and then be making other things at the same time and twist it's having to change the threads and everything and doing one. I don't like doing 2 things. I'll get mixed up with things on the table here. So I think what I might do is start the coat and do it on a week. Make that my weekly video, the actual coat, so it might be 2 parts or 3, probably 3 parts I would think, on a similar line to the lady I mentioned last week who's doing a coat series week by week or video by video. So I might just do that, so probably for 3 weeks it'll be coat information and progress. I was going to film it separately and then just do one like it's separate from my normal weekly vlogs, but I don't think that's going to work. So that's my plan anyway. But I do need to still get some cozy makes done, but there might be a bit of mixture going on. So what I'm going to do after the cardigan, I bought this rib knit from Guthrie and Garney last year in Birmingham, and I bought it originally for a Jarrah sweater, but then when I looked at the pattern, it's just sort of, you need something more sort of like French terry, I think, for the Jarrah, although I used that ponte for the tie front one. But I just think this is too, I think there's about at least 80% stretch, if not 100. I can't find it on their website anymore. It's a viscose poly mix, but it's lovely and soft, needs washing. So I think what I'm going to make is I bought some itch to stitch patterns recently in the sale, and one of them was the Hepburn turtleneck, and this just seems perfect for it. It says 100% two-way stretch, so this does stretch along that way, but this way there's not much at all. So I think that would be perfect for this turtleneck. So that's going to be the Hepburn turtleneck by Itch to Stitch. I've got 1.5 meters of that. It's 160 wide and it's 230. I think I got the 230 grams. I think I got the information before. There's something similar on the website, but it isn't the same fabric. So I don't know if the composition or the stretch or anything is what that is, but I've tested that. It seems to be 100% width-wise anyway. So So yes, I'm going to try and get that started, and I've actually ordered some more samples from Minerva of Ponte for some trousers, the Bridget trousers that I'm hoping to make at some point. I'm looking for the right sort of Ponte that's going to be not as floppy as the ones I had, the last one I had, which I made the urban pants, Pattern Emporium urban pants with that cord set that I made a few weeks ago. I think that's a little bit too flimsy for actual trousers with a zip fly. So I've sent for some samples of their heavier duty Ponte Roma. So they haven't arrived yet. And then just after I'd ordered those, I saw because the Minerva website flummoxes me sometimes, they had a little thumbnail of a promotion for a 30% off end of line, I think they are, textured knits. So I then went and had a look at that, and I thought, well, I've just placed this. So if I'd known, I could have placed the order all in one. And I decided I didn't know when this offer was going to finish, so I was just browsing through the textured knits, and I have ordered two or three, I think it was, with the 30% off of some textured knits, which might either make a toaster sweater, a Jarrah sweater, Drew sweatshirt, whatever this sweatshirt or cozy knit I decide on that. So I'm hoping that they're going to be suitable for some more cozy tops. So I do want to get that done, and then, as I say, hopefully get this coat started. But I might need to alter the pattern on the coat. I'm still debating whether to make a smaller size up top. I don't know yet. So yeah, I think I'm just planning, because it's getting quite cool now again. It's still cold. We had snow the other day. I think it was Thursday. I looked out of the window and there was just a few little flakes coming down, and I walked away, came back, and it was just absolutely throwing it down with snow. It was just unbelievably and gusty wind, and it was so cold. So yeah, I need cozy tops. So I think I might be done this week. Not much to report with the half-finished cardigan, but at least I've finished my shirt, blouse, whatever you want to call it. So I hope you've enjoyed this week content. If you do, don't forget to give a like and leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the things that I've done so far. And it doesn't cost anything to subscribe, so if you would consider that, then that would be lovely. It does help the channel, as I say. So I'll just pop in the video now of the Banrol technique. I found it quite easy, so I was a bit hesitant to try it at first, but I've mastered it. Well, I say mastered it. I've done it. So yeah, so I'll pop that in now, and I'll just say I hope you have a lovely week and get some nice sewing done, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now. So after much deliberation, I decided to, after considering doing overlocking and just turning the hem up, I decided to give the Banrol technique a go. So I've cut the length of, I'm nearly at the end now, cut the length of the Banrol, the whole width of going round from both fronts around the back of the shirt. So I'm just trying to, it's a little bit difficult because it's white on white, so I'm just trying to sew down. You remove those long threads to leave this comb going crosswise, but you have to sew right on the edge. So I'm keeping the edges of the comb to the edge of the fabric, and then I'm sewing right down, just missing the long threads. So it comes out like this. You can see the row of stitching there just to the edge of the woven bit, and then the comb is coming right up to the edge there. So we're nearly done, and then I'll get on to the next stage. So this is what it looks like now, sewn on to the bottom of the shirt. So what we have to do now, I believe, is to turn it, fold that up that way to the inside of the shirt, and then fold it again. Might try and give this a press. I know it's polyester, but I might just try and give that a press to, because it's slipping about a little bit, this fabric. And then you sew close to this edge here, and then pull the Banrol out. So I'll try and get that done now. So this is where we're up to now. Folded it back and managed to get it pressed. So that's the original seam that we sewed, and then we folded it in to the wrong side of the shirt. So I'm now just sewing as near to this edge as I can, and this is the bit that's just been done. So that's still got the Banrol inside the hem, the comb bit. So I'm now just continuing now round. I did manage to press it a little bit using a pressing cloth, so it's holding it nicely in place without it slipping about too much. And just carry on with that. Okay, so I've got my top stitching done now with the Banrol still in place. So I've got my nice narrow hem. Because I undid that front placket, so I can't do my normal hem, I don't think, with turning that back and then pulling it through. So, but this will just be sewn back down, and at least the hem will be coming out from behind the facing rather than it being coming up here and having a horrible seam at the end here, because the bottom should be okay. Nobody's going to be seeing that as much as they would see this curling over at this end. So what we do now is, I don't know if I can do this one-handed, is pull out the Banrol. So that's the comb that was inside. So I'll just keep pulling that out now along the length of the hem, and then turn that in and sew that back down. So we'll just continue to pull the Banrol comb bits out of the hem. It goes all the way along. Just pull it out, and hopefully I haven't caught any of the lengthwise threads in. Just keep pulling out, and it's out. And so I'm now left with a nice little narrow hem. I mean, I enjoyed doing that. That was the first one, so it's not too bad. So then I'll just neaten that edges, turn that back in, turn that placket back in, and re-sew this edge here. And then that's a nicer hem than was there originally.